Welcome to a video about money. Yes, today we're going to be talking about vehicle finance. So I was recently at the Festival of Motoring and I couldn't help but notice there are a lot of new cars that will be coming into the market soon, and I know that a lot of you will be interested in buying them. So I teamed up with Westbank to talk about vehicle finance, interest rates, balloon payments, and even repossessions. But in addition to all that, we're also going to catch up with some familiar faces. So without wasting any of your time, allow us to get started. As you may know, the Festival of Motoring is powered by Westbank, and it gives a lot of manufacturers the opportunity to share their future plans and show us upcoming models. One kind in particular I was looking forward to is the Suzuki Swift. And I wasn't the only one. I actually bumped into Muzi at the Suzuki Swift stand. That man loves Suzukis. Anyway, we spoke about the TCR and other things, but more on that later. As we move on, this is the new Suzuki Swift, and it's ready to give the Polo Vivo a run for its money. Couple of changes: it now comes with a 3-cylinder engine, producing a powerful 60 kilowatts and 112 Newton meters of torque. Doesn't sound like a lot of power because it's not a lot of power, but it is economical. They claim it will do 4.4 liters to the 100, and you can get it with a 5-speed manual or an optional CVT transmission. Pricing is not yet available, but we already know a lot of people will be interested in the new Suzuki Swift. So if you're thinking of financing the Swift, let's talk about your vehicle finance application options. To get finance, you can either go to the bank yourself and do your own application, or you can go to the dealership and they'll do it for you. Let's start with the dealership. This is obviously the most convenient way to apply for vehicle finance. You walk into a dealership, you tell them you're interested in buying this Suzuki Swift. They'll tell you, okay, send us your payslip, send us your bank statements, your ID, your proof of address, and that type of thing. And then later they come back to you and say, this bank offered you this much interest rate and that bank offered you this much interest rate. But with that said, you should know you have the right to ask the dealer to show you all the quotes they received so you can go through them, compare them, and scrutinize them yourself. Here's a quick story. A few weeks ago, I actually applied for a car, and the dealership came back to me with an interest rate that was a bit high. So I asked them, can I see the offers from the other banks? That dealership refused. So because they refused, I saw they're not willing to be transparent with me. So I walked away from the deal. I went to another dealership and I got a rate that was 2% lower than what they were offering me. So don't be scared to walk away if you can see that the people you're dealing with don't have your best interests at heart. Now, another option is to apply for yourself. To do this, you can go to a dealership. You tell them you're interested in buying a VW T-Cross. Can you please have a quote for how much the car will cost? And then once you receive the quote, you can go to the banks yourself, show them the quote you received, tell them you want a VW T-Cross, it costs 500,000 Rand and you'd like finance for it. And then you can compare the different offers from the different banks. And then when you get your offer, you can take it back to the dealership. Now, there are some people who don't know about this option. They don't know they can go to the bank themselves. And there are those who know but prefer not to do it because it takes a lot of time to drive from one bank to the other, submitting the same documents. But the nice thing is, at least you'll know that the offer you got is the offer that you fought for yourself. Now, before we get to interest rates, I just want to talk about this bike, Beijing X55 Plus. Even though I've never driven it, I would just like to say they got the pricing right. 430,000 Rand for an SUV with all those features would be very appealing to a lot of people. Anyway, let's talk about interest rates. What you're looking at right now are pots and spoons and forks. This looks very expensive. If there's anyone in the comments who knows how much this costs, please let me know. I'm just asking for a friend. So, interest rates, how are they calculated? Well, there are a lot of factors that go into calculating your interest rate. The most obvious being they look at your credit record, they look at your credit score, they check all your accounts. Do you pay on time? Do you have any missed payments? How many missed payments do you have? Then they also look at things like the price of the vehicle you want. Say you want a Polo GTI, and let's say you earn 20,000 Rand. So what the bank does is look at your disposable income. They'll check how much you spend on rent, how much you spend on food, how much you're paying for your iPhone contract, how much you're spending on weekends. And then based off of that, they'll determine your affordability and calculate your interest rate based on that. Once you see a high interest rate, that is the bank telling you, my man, this car is a bit too expensive for you. Don't you want to be a bit logical and maybe get something else? This is Demo. A lot of people are like Demo. They take cars at high interest rates and now they're just along for the ride and they don't know how to get out of it. They're just there now every month. No, 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 no. Don't be like Demo, guys. Go for a car you can afford. So when you see the bank offering you 17%, 18%, 96 months to pay, just know that car is not for you. Leave it alone, find something more affordable. By the way, shout out to Demo for the illustration. Please check out his channel 4WheelsZA. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let him know Mr. How Much sent you. And this is a Lamborghini Rivalto. I know someone is thinking, I want this Lamborghini. Give me a balloon payment, make it 90%. I want this car. Well, this Lamborghini Rivalto, I hope I'm saying that right, comes in at a humble 15 million rand. On finance over 6 years at 12% interest, that is 293,253 rand before whatever insurance they're going to give you on this machine. So yeah, it's not cheap. And when a lot of people see cars that are not cheap, they immediately think about balloon payments. So let's talk about balloons because not everybody understands how they work. Say Tepo wants a Polo GTI, and if he was to finance it at its base price, the installment would be 11,025 rand, and he can't afford that. It's out of his monthly budget, but he really wants the car. So he opts for a balloon payment. He takes about 30%. Now his installment is 9,422 rand. But what does that mean? Basically, the bank puts aside 30% of the finance amount and calculates your installment on the remaining 70%, which makes the installment a bit more affordable, meaning Tepo has an extra 1,600 rand per month to spend on petrol. But at the end of the finance agreement, before Tepo can take full ownership of the vehicle, you'll have to pay the bank the 167,760 rand they had put aside as a balloon payment as a lump sum. Now, for a lot of people, this is where the problem starts. You see, when you take a balloon payment, you're encouraged to save money over the 6-year period so that you can be able to pay off that 30%. But honestly, if you couldn't afford to pay that extra 1,600, where are you going to get the money to save over that 6-year period? So what usually ends up happening is most people get a loan from the bank to pay off the balloon and own their vehicle. Some choose to rather sell the car, but because vehicles lose value over time, the money you get for the car is usually less than what you owe the bank, which ends up leaving you with a shortfall. So you sell your Polo GTI, but you still owe the bank 50,000 rand. So now you apply for a new car, then they take that 50,000 rand and add it to your next car. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? It's just a cycle that doesn't end. With that said, my personal advice is if the car you want requires you to take a balloon, rather leave it and go for the car you need. And then one of the days when you've increased your disposable income, then by all means, go for your dream car. So guys, while I'm here at the festival, I understand someone challenged me to a drag race. So I'm here to see him in person. He drives an Aston Martin that he bought recently and fixed. I think you know who I'm talking about. Let's see if he's here. Ah, there he is, there he is. Yeah. I'm here to answer his challenge in person. I'm here to accept your challenge.
Hey,
you wanna
you
drag
here
race?
to expect this guy
When is the race happening?
ambushing me. Look at this guy ambushing me. How's it, guys?
Bruh. Hey, your car is clean though, man. Yo.
It's a little bit dusty now.
Ah, this is proper, yo.
A little bit dusty now.
I think, have I ever touched an Aston Martin?
So, let me know, guys, who do you think will win, the TCR or Mumbo's Aston Martin? I haven't actually seen the full potential of this car.
So yes, guys, spoiler alert, it will be Mumbo's Aston Martin, yo, versus my own car. By the way, by his stand, he had an i30 in there, but yeah, we'll see. Aston Martin versus my car. Who do you think will win? Let me know in the comments. On the topic of racing, I actually had the opportunity to go around the racetrack in a race car. Yo, it was brutal. My neck. I respect drivers. Before I forget, VW wants to know what you think of this VW Polo with the copper pack. It's basically a Polo with copper colors and a copper sticker. In the interior, still more or less the same polo, but on the dash they wrote copper. Please let me know what you think of the copper. Now, repossession. A vehicle being repossessed is the last thing a bank really wants to do. Remember, when you have the car, the bank is making money from your payments. But if the bank has to now fetch the car is now parked for a while in a storage facility, it's costing them money. So now they have to try and auction it as soon as they can for as low as they can. So it's not something they really want to do. So if you're really struggling with your payments, make sure you speak to your lender. Tell them, guys, this month and the month after, I'm having some issues. Don't just ignore their phone calls because they will call you. And if you don't answer, they will find you and they will take back their car. Tell them you're going through something. They'll make some kind of arrangement for you. It is better than just keeping quiet. And if you've been watching this long and you still haven't liked the video, please like. If you still haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Support local YouTube, guys. It's the right thing to do. We're still on the road to 120,000 subs, so please share this video on your WhatsApp status, on your Twitter, on your Instagram. Let them know there's a Mr. How Much on YouTube. But before I end this video, there are a couple of interesting cars I want to talk about. Number 1, the new Ford Mustang. Naturally aspirated 5-liter Coyote V8 engine producing 328 kilowatts and 540 newton meters of torque. It now has an updated interior. It is paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. This is a car I'm looking forward to. This is a car I would buy. It's coming in at 1.3 million rand and I'm looking forward to seeing it on the road. Another car I'm sure you noticed is the new VW T-Cross. There'll still be a proper launch for it, so I'm going to cover it there. The other interesting car is the Cherry Tiggo Cross. In front, it looks like a 7 Pro. At the back, I don't know what it looks like, but I know it's the kind of car a lot of people will be interested in. I don't know when it's being launched or how much it'll cost, but as soon as I do, you'll see it on the channel. Just before I end the video, I noticed a VW ID buzz while I was at the Festival of Motoring and I wanted to ask, would you be interested in a VW ID buzz video? It looks very interesting. If you'd like to see it on the channel, please let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. With that said, special thanks to Westbank for partnering with me on this video. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all of you for watching it, and from me to you, until the next one, take care. No.